BIOL's technical analysis, fundamental statistics, along with reviewing my current positions and the price chart, starting off with the price action. Use the YouTube chapters if you want to stick just to the earnings report and the new stuff. But as far as right now, this is the price action. There's basically only two things that you need to understand about this chart. Honestly, we're going to be pretty quick. Okay, with the first entry point is 83 cents down to 81 cents. This has acted as a significant level of support in the near past, and going as far back as the 4th in March. And guys, this is the actual important thing that you actually want to take away from this. Write this number down, okay? 77 cents down to like 70 cents flat. That is, if BIOLACE dips down to 77 to 70 cents, that is your load the boat signal, in my opinion. Last couple times we've been here, last two times we've gotten huge bounces, a 30% bounce, and a 20% or a 30%. Yeah, 30% bounces basically. Yeah, literally. Okay, so that's not bad, right? 30%, you cannot complain. That beats the market and beats Dave Ramsey, like 3 years of Dave Ramsey, right? Literally. Okay, so that's what we're looking at as far as entry points. Now, there's not really much else that's very interesting about the stock. Let's go over the fundamentals, not the fundamentals, the other indicators really quickly. On the RSI, relative strength index on the daily, 42.18, basically neutral. We're closer to being oversold and overbought. So that is more bullish than bearish, of course. But on the MACD, if we maximize this and zoom in here, we're in bearish territory on the daily. But of course, guys, look at this. I want you to understand this. Don't buy on the daily MACD signal because it's so slow and it's not very sensitive to price action movements short term, right? Look at this, okay? When we were at the very bottom of the dip here, the MACD was not even close to correcting. It only corrected when we were literally at the peak, basically. This was not a good buy signal, right? That's why we look at multiple time frames. And although the MACD line can be a good macroscopic bullish or bearish indicator, you want to look at the 4 hourly. Like, look at this, okay? If you played this MACD indicator, you would have been able to get in at 83 cents, worst case, swing it all the way up to $1.04. That's almost a 20% profit, right? Compared to negative if you're using the daily MACD signal. So we are also in bearish MACD land and sentiment. We are having bearish sentiment towards the stock based on the 4 hourly MACD. So let's look at some other stuff. On the daily Bollinger Bands, that's what I want to look at. Let's pull these up. All right, middle Bollinger Band is trading at 93 cents. That is going to be acting as a little bit of a resistance line. We also have a decreased volatility signaled to me by the hooking in and the decreasing of distance between this outside band and this other outside band. So there's really nothing much. There's not really any clear price action probabilities indicated to me by that. But let's look at the moving averages on the daily. We're in bullish territory, and I want you to look at how perfectly this validation was last time we touched the 200-day EMA. Let's say we were to come back down to 70 cents. By the time we get there, this 200-day EMA, assuming it's not going to be very soon, right? That's a drastic drop from 80 cents to 70 cents. I'm assuming that's not going to happen in a couple days, right? But it could. But even if it does, this 200-day EMA is going to be coming up. And if we were to dip even any more, it's going to be seeing some serious support from that 200-day exponential moving average, this red line right here. Talking about the small moving averages, a little bit of death crossing the 55 MA is crossing above the 21, 15, and 13-day moving averages. It's not what you want to see, but this is what you get when you have a correction, right? Important and significant BIOLACE earnings report data that you may have not caught when reading it on glancing and skimming on your first read. I read the whole thing for you, so you did not have to waste your time. I'm going to sum it up for you as far as the most interesting and actual significant things, in my opinion. Total revenue was $8.5 million, representing sequential quarterly growth of 31%. This is what you want to see now, but don't let this mislead you into thinking that they're just doing amazing, because if we look at the monthly chart here, since 1992, they used to be valued obviously at $98. So there's really, yeah, we love to see. This doesn't nullify that they're making progress, but this just means that, hey, they don't really have much farther. They're already at the bottom, basically. They can't go much lower, right? They're below $1 right now. They used to be almost $100, but that's okay, guys. Okay, that's okay. That doesn't mean this company's horrible. That just means take this with a grain of salt, in my opinion. U.S. revenue exceeded the prior year fourth quarter, despite COVID-19 headwinds. Don't let this fool you either. Okay, their U.S. revenue did great. Yeah, it did well despite COVID-19. But guys, as I said, this similar to this last one, it's a little misleading because overseas their revenue did not do well. Okay, this one, okay, not very interesting, I guess. You guys, this is what you want to see though, and this is what you really. This is one of the main drivers, and it's going to be a driver for BIOLACE, as they are a new they're offering a new product, right? The laser dentistry space, it's not as researched and developed as traditional dentistry, of course, because dentistry traditionally that has the foothold of dentist work. Laser technology that BIOL is offering, laser dentistry, right? It's not adopted in the mainstream. So most of their sales, a lot of their sales are going to be coming from new users and new dentist organizations because they don't have many existing users, to put it plainly. This is not really, I mean, yeah, they had some major organizations purchase their stuff. Okay, bolster balance sheet. Okay, this stuff offering everything but deals. Okay, warrants. We don't warrant stuff. Okay, now this is kind of cool. The CEO does talk pretty well, but obviously talk is cheap, guys. We want to see actions, but this is good nonetheless, right? I'm not going to say BioNano CEO when he speaks really optimistic and really good things that you want to see as an investor. I'm not going to say that's important, and then when this guy does it, it's not important. No, of course not. But I just want to tell you, if you were to just read this report here, just this and this, you would think this company is doing great and really on a steady uptrend, but that's not the case at all, right? So just keep this in mind when you're reading this. Our strong fourth quarter revenue performance is our second consecutive quarter. Significant sequential growth was driven by sales to new customers, dental specialists, and DSOs in the U.S. That's their CEO. Okay, periodontists. Okay, 40% of U.S. lasers. Okay, there's not really anything else crazy in here. But guys, look at this. Okay, we have continued to make adjustments to our go-to-market approach during the pandemic. What you need to understand here, this isn't even what the CEO said, but what you need to understand is that these guys are going to have a better, they're going to have a more auspicious way of selling their products in regards to their go-to-market approach when COVID is done, because dentistry has got hit hard. Dentistry, I wouldn't consider it a classic recovery play like the movie theaters and the restaurants, but it got hit hard from COVID because you're dealing with people's faces and mouths, right? It's germs everywhere. There's no, right? You have to take your mask off, right? So it's like, okay, COVID, that's why COVID kind of hit this harder than a lot of other industries. Not nearly as hard as movie theaters and restaurants, right? Dentists are still in business, a lot of them, but they did get hit hard. And as BIOLACE, as the recovery gets better, BIOLACE is going to benefit from this, okay? And the momentum we are seeing in the current 2021 first quarter gives us greater confidence that we are nearing a resumption of the growth we were generating prior to COVID-19. See, that's a very bold statement, right? Let's look at what they were doing prior to COVID-19. Okay, let's look here. Okay, right here. This is roughly when the crash was. Okay, pre-COVID-19, they were, they were above $1. Pretty much mostly. Okay, before March here, right? Right here. Okay, they chilled down here at 50 cents, right? But their revenue largely, if you exclude these couple quarters in here, one quarter, really, not even one quarter, right? Half a quarter, but they're above $1. I don't know what the exact revenue is, but obviously your revenue basically is a direct correlation to the stock price, usually. Okay, but either way, even if that's not true for this company, I assume it is, but based on this, and the stock price, but this is bullish. This is what you want to see, right? They have a greater confidence that we are nearing a resumption of the growth we were generating prior to COVID-19. Specifically, despite the ongoing impact of the pandemic, we expect to report total revenue growth of approximately 65% for the current first quarter compared to the same quarter a year ago. This is what you want to see. Of course, don't let this fool you that this company is just doing amazing, right? But this is what you want to see. Okay, now this is where you get the bad stuff. Net revenue for the fourth quarter was $8.5 million, increase of 31%. We already saw that. Okay. Okay, here we go. Compared to the year ago fourth quarter, which was the last full quarter prior to the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, revenue decreased 17% from 10 million. There you go. Okay, it decreased 17% compared to that. Okay. Also, U.S. laser revenue was 3.8 million. Right, it's up, but where does it say overseas? Okay, outside the U.S., laser revenue declined 52%. Okay, this is why I said earlier, don't let this fool you. Don't let this fool you, because in the U.S., they're down. If you look here, right, they're down. Laser revenue declined 52% in the fourth quarter compared to the prior fourth quarter. So don't let this fool you guys. But this is pretty much gross. Also, this is really concerning. I think this is why the price action was so bad. This was on, let's see, when was this article? 25th. Okay, 25th. 25th. So I think it was a bad day for the stock. Let's see, 25th. Okay, yeah, 25th. Let's look at the 4 hourly so we can actually see. Okay, 24th. Yeah, it was a bad day. So they opened at 96 cents, closed the day a little lower. Okay, so yeah, it was not a great day for them on the earnings. I think it was only down like 6%, but yeah, this is probably why people really pay close attention to gross margins. Okay, this is like this is your percentage of profit on your sales, like basically how much profit you're getting percentage wise compared to what the total cost is, basically. Okay. For the year ended December 31, okay, 27% compared to 38% for the year ended the last year. Okay, that's not what you want to see. Operating loss for the year ended December 30. Okay, this is the quarter that the year that they're reporting for, 18.5 million. Okay, increase of 2.9 million. Okay, again, this is not really clear what we're getting here, honestly, guys. Okay, now I know this is a long one and there's important stuff. It's important that you read all of this, in my opinion, if you're going to be, making investment decisions on it frequently. If you're long-term investors, don't worry about this stuff. But this is not really clear. I mean, yeah, it's bad, right? The gross margins are down. COVID-19 hit them, but honestly, this isn't that bad. This isn't that bad of an earnings report, in my opinion. Like all in all, the fact that they were actually able to increase their U.S. revenue compared to the last prior fourth quarter, despite COVID, right? That's pretty insane. Now, of course, don't let that fool you, right? The global international revenue was down, but still, that's still pretty insane, right? Why wouldn't it be down all the way, right? U.S. got hit pretty hard for COVID. Everywhere got hit pretty hard. So this is what you want. I'm not going to say this is what you want to see for BIOLs, right? You want to see more. You want to see gross margins increasing, not decreasing. But the revenue increased, right? It did increase, but again, they don't really have much lower to go, right? They've been, if we go to the monthly chart here, they've been up at $98. But in my opinion, all right, this is, it's not necessarily super bullish or bearish in my opinion, this earnings report, but BIOLACE is a penny stock, and this is kind of what you expect for companies that are valued at below $1, right? You don't expect crazy revenue numbers, crazy financial numbers, crazy business model plans. I don't really like that this is all that they really said, and right here, yeah, these two paragraphs, that's all they said. As far as that I saw in here, like none of this other. Yeah, I didn't actually read listen in on the conference. Let me know. Comment down if you actually did read it. Yeah, there's nothing else in it. There's just the financials here. They got the whole balance sheet, income statement, cash flow, everything. Okay, they got disclosure here. Okay, this is all they got, right? There's nothing else on it. Like if you compared to Bionano's earnings report, this is a very small earnings report. There's not really much plan for the future for BIOLACE, right? I'm not bearish. Trust me, I'm not bearish. If this hits 70 cents again, I'm getting in. Trust me, okay? I'm bullish on the stock long term, very bullish long term. But this is not, and again, everything is priced in here, but what you can take from this is BIOLACE, they still have plenty of potential. It's a better entry point now that the earnings were not that great, right? The gross margins were down. That's the main reason why it was actually a bad day on the 24th. I'm assuming, in my opinion, that's why it was. But they still got some positives, and they've got plenty of room to grow, in my opinion. Insider ownership for BIOLACE, 15%. That's what I'm talking about. This is extremely bullish, in my opinion. Obviously, this is not just green flag, go buy into the stock. No, I'll tell you what, insider ownership is important, but the product and the business model and the actual practicality of what they're doing is way more important than insider ownership. But nonetheless, this is still a very important indicator and statistic that you need to take into account. Obviously, very, very bullish. Institutional ownership, 6%, not too much. This is actually what I would like to. This is actually what I like to see. I like to see very high insider ownership and low or medium institutional ownership, because it just means institutions have not woken up yet because they don't realize they're not looking for good stocks like we are, undervalued stocks, penny stocks. They're not even open. A lot of them are not even open to penny stocks because it's too risky. Yeah, they're risky. Every stock is risky, right? If you want to make, and it's not like they're just only more risky. There also is more potential reward, right? The risk and reward, it doesn't just go down. I mean, if it's a bad company, yeah, the risk will get worse and the reward won't. But if it's a decent company like BIOLACE, a very good company, BIOLACE is, the reward goes just as higher. But anyways, guys, this is, Honestly, for me personally, I don't even care about the institutional ownership. Okay, institutions are dumb as heck most of the time. Insiders, I value this statistic much more. I'll link this. You're welcome. BIOL's due diligence and $20 end of year bull case price target. Okay, this was actually my due diligence that I actually did. I threw this together pretty quick. I'm not gonna lie. But there's some good statistics in here, and most of this is from an article that you can go read. I linked it in there and everything. I'll link this in the description in the comments. AGTC technical analysis, fundamentals. You guys already know the whole spiel. Okay, I'm going to save it for you guys. Entry points into the stock, similar to BIOL's. That's the most important thing here. There's not really a chart pattern that's clear right now. I mean, we have a potential. Yeah, this kind of looks like the start of a cup and handle. This being the first half of the cup, and then it would go something like this, come back up right here, and then do the handle, and then boom, probably top out right about here based on that price target right there would be about roughly in there. But that's obviously that's not scientific, right? But guys, as far as entry points into this stock, this is an amazing stock. Also, can we just congratulate and acknowledge how good AGTC held up for the during the correction, right? Let's go to February 16th here. Okay, February 16th, right here. Okay, February 16th was right here. Yeah, they got hit really hard, but this spike was actually not because of the markets. This was because of news, I believe. They got hit pretty hard, but guess what? We've been correcting the last couple of weeks, and AGTC has been trading in this upwards channel. We bounced off this ascending level of support. We went to test highs, got rejected. Then we're currently looking for a strong bounce off this level. We didn't really get it. We kind of got. I mean, we went up from $4 to $5. That's not bad, right? That's 20%. But we're not really, compared to the last bounce, it's nothing, right? But as far as entry points, I will be looking personally to add shares if we come back down and touch this 485 to $5 flat in that range, right? That's my personal adding shares. I don't have a position in the stock, but getting a new position, right? I used to be in the stock. I already took profits. I took a lot of profits on this. I got in right into this at bullpen it, play the breakout. I sold somewhere up here above $7 for sure, maybe above $8. I don't know. But guys, let's look at some other indicators, okay? Also, if we dip a little more than that, because there's a chance of that, and remember, I can always be wrong. This Fibonacci retracement level, this 100% retracement level, 459. That's what you want to be looking at. That's where you want to be setting your more of your buy limit orders. Let's look at the RSI and the MACD relative strength index on the 4-hourly. 4085 on the MACD. If we zoom in here, we can't even see it. Okay, barely. Okay, so we are in bearish territory, just barely on the 4-hourly MACD. If we look at the daily, RSI is looking a little better, maybe. Okay, 45, so about the same. On the MACD, we're still in bearish territory, barely again. If we can get some bullish sentiment for the stock, people are going to be watching these MACD signals and they're going to be getting in. Once we start seeing it bounce, and this is a potential swing play right off the bat, right? If you have a little cash on the side you want to throw in just for the heck of it, get in on this ascending level and just ride it up until we touch this ascending resistance here, or until we touch this 78.6% retracement or the 61.8%, right? Whatever you want to do, this is an auspicious trade in my opinion. And of course, if we dip more, it's fine if you're holding the bag because this is a great company fundamental wise, and it's got a great long-term outlook, even according to the institutions. If you did not know that, that's what we're looking at. Let's look at the daily Bollinger Bands. The middle Bollinger Band is trading at 540. We are currently trading at 5. And when you go below the middle Bollinger Band, I've said this plenty of times before, you will inevitably come back up to meet that middle Bollinger Band. Yes, it's going to be acting as a resistance level, but we are pretty significantly below it right now, and we've got plenty of upside left to that middle Bollinger Band. So that is bullish for the stock. Let's look at the moving averages and an exponential moving average. We are looking. Let's see what. Okay, we're looking. We actually just got. Okay, that's actually really interesting. We actually just got the second most important golden cross. We never have stocks deal with recent golden crosses. They already have. They always already happen. But guys, this is very bullish. We just had a golden cross like on the 12th or the 15th of March. The second most important golden cross just happened, but we're going to be seeing resistance because the current price action. Remember, with the red candles, green candles open at the bottom of the body and close at the top of the body. Red candles is the opposite. They open at the top of the body and close at the top of the body, not the wick. Don't get confused with the wick. Okay, just go watch some candle introduction videos if you don't understand that. But guys, we are going to be seeing some support from the 200-day EMA, but some resistance from the 55, 13, 15, and 13, 15, and 21-day moving averages. Excuse me, there. So that's it's not what you want to see, but we do want to see the golden crosses. So that is bullish territory, in my opinion. That just adds to the bullish thesis on getting in on this ascending level, in my opinion. This chart setup is looking a little better than BIOL's short term, in my opinion, just because it's actually a clear, somewhat. We do have 3 touch points on this ascending level, and a fair amount of touch points on this ascending resistance as well, if we actually go to the 4-hourly, right? So this is a pretty good, I like this chart pattern. I like this setup. Getting in on this ascending level is a very auspicious trade, in my opinion. AGTC insider ownership, 18% of the shares outstanding is owned by insiders. Extremely, extremely, extremely bullish. This is what you want to see. BIOL and AGTC, we love stocks with high insider ownership and a great product that has a high use, high practicality, clear niche, and it's in an unsaturated market with plenty of potential for the future. And this I don't know how much you know about this company. We're going to be going over some partial due diligence over here, but this company does fulfill all of those requirements, in my opinion, long term at least. If we fact check this with MVIS, right, it somewhat checks out, right? Insider ownership does not check out at all, but the institutional ownership is very high, so that is actually bullish. AGTC announces new initiatives to enhance the patient journey in its XLRP trials. The XLRP, it's a long way away. If you go look at their pipeline and their products on their website and actually do the digging, like I encourage you to do if you're actually invested in this company, this is looking like it's going to be Q3 2022 to get to phase 3 trials. Right now they're in one or two right now, I believe, heading into 2. AGTC due diligence, I'll link this. Go read about the XLRP. Go read about the HCXM or HCHM, excuse me. Go read about this. Go get deep into the technology, okay? At least understand it a little bit if you're going to invest in this company. Definitely if you're going to be a long-term investor. It's a great company. They got amazing stuff going on. Institutional, there's a ton of institutions and analysts that actually gave us like a $25 to $30 price target. I'm serious. Go watch the previous, way long ago, like weeks and months ago's AGTC videos, right? I actually give those links in the description, so you're welcome for that. But guys, this is literally a projected 5x, 6x by analysts. So that is, it's obviously extremely bullish. Current positions, there's nothing new here. All right, for AGTC, let's go over BIOL's first. Okay, end of your bear case $4, end of your bull case 10 to 20. AGTC 25 is the bear case, 50 to 100 bull case. Relevant information in regards to the title is finished now. Feel free to click off. If you have more important things to do, this is the part where I do stuff most YouTubers do in the first 5 seconds. Plus, cool stuff is way best non-paying ways to support the channel. Share to your social media, Reddit, promote, email, start sending email campaigns if you want to support the channel non-paying way. Merch. I was working on this for like not 4 hours, like 3 hours probably this morning. We're done. The designs are done. Merch is done. Literally not Patreon merch, not where you have to like do a tier and everything. No, this is literally just, okay, link to the website that I have my page on. Order what shirt you want. Hoodie, it's like $20. I'm barely profitable on most of the options, right? The t-shirt, I'm getting like a couple, like barely any profit at all. But I made the chat price really cheap, I think. It's going to be really good, high quality t-shirts, good designs, any color you want, any size you want, of course, US, pay with US dollars or euro, anywhere in the world it ships to pretty much, unless you live in freaking Antarctica, or the ocean, right? Something crazy, right? Pretty much ships anywhere. So yeah, be watching out for that. It's not ready yet. I'm just sampling. I ordered samples of all the merch that I'm doing just to make sure that the designs come out good and they can actually print them well. I already know that it's a high quality company and everything's legit, but I just want to make sure that the actual designs that I uploaded to them are actually going to be good to go before we get to it. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to be announcing that in a little bit. Okay. Auspiciousbusiness.com. That's where you want to see my website at. I got a ton of things on there. All social media is in the description in the comments now. I'll pin it in the comments to the top at the bottom of the pinned comment. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, I got it all, man, and more coming. I can't. There's 1,000 things on my to-do list. We're getting it done slowly but surely. Slowly but surely, we're going to be the biggest finance YouTube channel by far, in my opinion. It's just a matter of time. Auspiciousbusiness@yahoo.com. That's where you want to send your serious suggestions or questions. Success is never going to change our business model. This is why we're going to be the biggest YouTube channel. I'm not going to sell out. I could have already sold out and put ads in the videos. That's not going to happen. I could make money doing that. I'm not doing that. I am going to stay true to my business model and my promise to all of you that have been watching since the beginning. and not sell out. Success is never going to change. Our business model, which does not consist of asking for likes or asking for subs or putting ads in the video, executes order 66. Star Wars reference if you're super confused right now. Anyways, this is not financial advice, guys. Thank you all so much. See you on the next one.